have scripted is that he hits record without telling us.
Pretty much. Speaking of hitting buttons and stuff, like, subscribe, comment, share, head on down to the link tree. I don't think you can. I don't think they still can't buy anything from the Shopify, can they? Or is that
No,
back
if there's
up and
something they
running
want, they
yet?
just tell us. We can.
We'll make it happen.
In the comments.
We'll make it happen.
Yeah, you can see what we got on
we
the
need
TikTok
what shirt
shop.
you want. We need the color. We need what size you want. We need your address. We need your payment information. Give us
We want your money.
Yep.
We'll try.
Arm and a leg. Arm and a leg. We got to retire. Just saying. So, what's cooking? Good looking.
How you doing, buddy? Mr. I Can't Podcast, because I go to work at 1 a.m.
Yeah, how'd Tuesday go?
I wish he was more dedicated.
How'd Tuesday go? I wish I was more dedicated too, Ferris. Thanks. Shut your face.
Me and Ferris did a beans, bullets, and band-aids.
You guys suck.
And Mary.
Y'all do the fun stuff when I'm not around.
It was actually pretty boring. I mean, it was fun for us, but anybody watching.
Thanks a lot, Ferris.
They're gonna turn it off within 3 minutes.
Fuck you.
Wow. Okay, we just lost all of our listening audience.
Yeah, F-bomb drop.
Calling me boring. That's not nice.
Look, I tell you what though, I would like to know Brandon's answer to that question though.
Yes, Brandon. So if you had to pick one of three, go ahead, Ferris. You obviously
go ahead.
Nope. If you had to
all
pick
right,
one
there goes
three,
our viewing audience.
What is your beans, bullets, and band-aids? What's the number one thing you need to go after that you have to make sure of?
Of those three categories in like a survival situation, beans, bullets, or band-aids?
One thing that you're like, I got to make sure that's
what's most important to you right now? What would be priority?
Well, what's the scenario?
See, what if right now is a scenario? Right now,
right this second?
Yes.
Like this second in my life, beans.
Siren's going off. You just heard boom.
If your wife came to you and said, "I'm worried. We need a plan," and you had those three things encompassing all the little subcategories involved in like beans, bullets, band-aids, right?
Yeah, right this second, right now, the way my life is going, I'm saying beans. Because ain't nothing going on in my life.
So he basically, for the audience, he would start a food storage system. He would start
essentially.
Okay.
Essentially. Now, with what Nick said, all of a sudden you wake up and there's a big old boom. Me being me and what I've done in my life, I'd be like, hey, shit, where's the band-aids? There's probably people that need help. I wake up and I hear, fire, right? Gunfire or whatever. Where's my bullet?
My brain says
it depends on the situation. It really does.
My brain said in a survival mode, okay, you got to run. You can't stay where you're at. It's time to grab your bug out bag and you got to get.
All right. So GTFO situation.
Yeah.
Bullets.
That's what I said. Because with bullets, I can also get the food. So I don't have to worry about it.
Yep. I don't need beans if I got bullets. And especially if we're running out to the woods, we're set.
Same, dude. You said what I said. I'm happy and proud to say you're my buddy.
What's the disclaimer, Ferris?
Well, I had that earlier, the last show we did, when he said that. Let's make this clear. He's not going to rob people with these bullets to get what he needs.
No.
No, we're going out to the woods and we're going to go actually survive. We're going to build a shelter.
You got to be careful.
Go do some hunting.
He's a little threatening, and if you give the man a gun, people might worry that.
Who, Nick? Yeah, with that tree beard he's got going on.
You know what Mary said?
Look at that thing's roots.
This is awesome though, and I'm gonna need Nick to cut a little bit of his beard off and mail it to me so I can see what happens. But she said his beard would make a good fire starter in a situation, and I'm like,
it
might actually be true.
It's like taking steel wool to a freaking battery.
I could probably clean the shit out of something with my beard.
Ooh, you don't ever get close to batteries, do you?
Yeah, I was close to one today.
Ooh.
Man.
I cleaned off the terminals.
He's got that built-in bristle brush.
Was it around lunchtime?
No, it was.
Oh, but say what? A salt and battery. Good.
So while we sit here and do our thing and wait and whatnot, Music, huh? How about that music?
Music. Oh, you got
Music.
some news. You got some news, Brandon. Why don't you tell people what the latest is?
I got news.
Speaking of music, and
Oh,
speaking,
oh, are we bringing
yeah,
in the are we bringing
yeah,
in our
just
comp?
yeah, man.
All right,
It's worth
fine.
mentioning.
Got some news. I suck.
Brandon got booted out, but found a way back in, and he's now in the finals.
Exactly. I suck.
He got booted out without getting booted out. He didn't even know it.
So in this we've been covering the perfectly puzzled competition. We've been bringing, winners from the weeks and whatnot in on the show and having a good old time, having a little chit chat with them. And last round, was it round 5, Ferris?
Mm-hmm.
5. So it was round 4 then.
Round
Um
4.
I did not pass round 4. However, this competition and its creators have this thing that I've never seen in a Smule competition before, where they've got a standby form for those of us that get booted, and we can still submit a song as an entry for the week. And if the competitors that made it through for whatever reason they don't submit a song, we move from that standby form up into the competitors area. Well, when I got booted, I was the very first person below that proverbial red line, right? And there was a few folks that didn't submit that week, so my song got entered into the mix for round 5. And now I'm in round 6. Made it to the finals for the first time in a Smule competition. Thank you very much. Only been competing in them for like 4.5, 5 years. And yeah, it's due tomorrow at 7 p.m. my time, and I haven't even had a chance to start on it because of work.
You know what's funny is
Fantastic.
I've never seen a semifinal with 3 of the people that made it didn't submit. 3 out of
That's weird.
whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you usually get that to the last couple of rounds. That
Yeah.
like, well, I'm
Well,
submitted.
to be fair though, the folks that didn't submit, that actually made it through, right? They had some pretty legitimate stuff going on. Like I
Oh
know a
yeah, yeah,
couple
it
of them were
happens.
sick as
It
dogs,
happens.
man.
It happens.
I feel for them.
That's why you never leave. Just hang out until
Yeah.
just. I mean, in this situation, you only have one shot at a standby. Once you use it, it's gone. But
Yeah.
I think it's
What do you
I've
mean
never
once you
seen a
use it? So
standby
that you,
submission form though.
you make it sound like I could hold on to that standby until like the last round and then use
no. That would be interesting though.
it.
Could you imagine though trying to
You
keep
said
up
you
with
only
that?
got one chance
Yeah,
to use.
you're basically taking a bye week.
Well, when it was first presented, I thought that very thing. I'm like, whoa, wait a minute,
That would be
who's going to
bad
keep
because
up
I
with
would
that?
just jump. I would get myself knocked out automatically and then just wait.
Right.
Of course,
Hey, guess what? I'm using my standby.
like those assholes that pass by you when you're
Winner!
like standing in traffic and they take the shoulder and they get all the way up there and they cut 15
Oh
places.
man, it happens almost
Uh,
every day to
Yeah,
me.
that would be you, Nick.
But let's
but
work.
yeah, I made it through to the final round for the first time ever in my Smule karaoke competition career.
Oh, here's
And
his
I
board.
say it's because I took notes. I actually took notes on
A
settings
true
and
competitor.
whatnot that I
Look at that.
used.
Why you got to
Um,
be a weirdo?
He's
well,
a
dude,
nerd.
I've never done it before. I've never taken notes on what I was doing on a song. And I've always just done I've recorded that layer, whatever the layer is, whether it's the main melody bass layer or harmony or whatever I'm doing, and I just play it by ear. But this time, because the main thing that I kept getting this whole competition, one of the main things I keep getting is, oh, your background vocals are too loud, your harmonies are too loud, right? And I'm like, damn it. So I took notes, dude. I did my main melody, my bass layer, if you will. And I had it set for negative 4.6 decibels after I recorded it. So I went in, and I had my gain set for unity, right dead center. So I went in afterwards and I'm like, okay, let me turn my gain down a little bit. I turned my gain down to like a quarter of the a quarter of the way that the knob will actually turn, right? And I recorded a mid harmony next, and I set that volume at negative 12 decibels. And then this time, dude, the judges came through. They're like, some of your background vocals were a little too quiet. I'm like, damn it, dude. I'm either way over here. Or I'm way over here. I can't get it perfect.
Oh, Nick, you got to watch out because the way I understood it when we interviewed her, but I think Aleph had a similar process and she won round 2. So there's something to that process.
Yep.
So watch out there.
There's something to be said for taking notes, I think. I will say this. It's pain. I hated it. It made the submission feel more like work. And I didn't enjoy the process as much as I normally would have. And I think for anybody that heard my submission, you could probably hear that in the song. I very much enjoyed the song. I love that song that I submitted.
And it was dedicated to somebody special.
I have a friend that said, you ought to do that song in a competition, Brandon. And I said, you know what? Okay, I'm going to do it right now. And then that sumbitch got mad because I found a loophole, which is what I do. It's my job. What can I say?
Well, I did tell.
Granted, it was on accident, but I found a loophole apparently.
I actually kept thinking about you when I watched that damn Legacy show because they're always talking loophole. There's a loophole. There's a loophole. They say it almost every episode.
I'm the loophole guy, dude. I'm telling you, once you start applying a thought process into what are the legalities of various situations because of your job or whatever, just let the loophole seeking begin. And like I said, it'll even happen on accident. I completely 100% found this last loophole totally by accident, and it ended up working out in my favor. So I'm not upset about it.
I'm watching a show right now on Peacock. It's called Suits. I don't know if y'all have seen it or not. I think it was on NBC or something.
I've heard of it. I've never seen it.
Dude, you would love that show. It's basically it's set around a law firm, but it brings in big business and other law firms and things like that. But it's so fast paced with the changes and the loopholes that these people find and how to get through trials and deals and all that. It's got a lot of good it's a good show, but I think you'd get a kick out of it's like 18 different loopholes in each show.
Nice.
That they exploit.
I love those kinds of shows, man. Speaking of shows about legal stuff, you ever seen Boston Legal?
I have not.
Well, not
Denny
a legal
Crane.
Show. Legal shows are retarded.
William Shatner plays Denny Crane.
Yeah.
Oh, he's awesome. Dude, watch Boston Legal.
I've seen it. I watched some.
Is that a drama or is it like a mix?
Oh, dude, it's like straight out of like the 90s, isn't it, Nick? Wasn't it?
Yeah.
It was a 90s show, like late 90s.
Shatner was funny in it.
It's kind of like a drama, but it's also kind of like a comedy at the same time. So
he acted like he was a movie star freaking attorney.
Yeah.
The way he would have
Denny Crane.
I remember thinking when I saw it added, I thought it was like The Office or something, like it was some kind of comedy.
I love The Office. Hello, Dunder Mifflin.
No.
Paper Company.
These kids and Linda, they love it. They
You have no clue what you're talking about.
Oh my God, this show.
You don't know what you speak of, Nick.
I would like to find another comp to do really bad in. How do you find these things?
Dude, just submit for this one. I was thinking about that, Ferris. Mr. Perfectly Puzzled Admin Man. You know how you have your standby form and your main submission form?
Mm-hmm.
Now, I know y'all are keeping like lists and stuff like that of who's actually in the round and who's not. I would imagine anyways, because that's what I would do. You want to know who your actual competitors are. But what's stopping somebody from, someone like Nick from just going through and submitting something to your submissions form there?
I mean, the only way it would slip by is if he broke number 1 rule, which is change his name. Because then it would get judged and we might not catch it right away. Honestly, we're all human. But the process is
loophole.
Yes, we have but see, you would be caught after review because we have a good 24 hours, sometimes longer, to review everything, make sure people are where they're supposed to be or whatever.
Yeah, but what if I
my,
did that and it was like I, for some reason, pulled it out of my crack snack and it was just like phenomenal. Like, is that really him? And it was just like blew everybody away. Would they be like, that's too damn good. We're going to just let it be?
on my comp.
It's a good question.
Not my
Oh, shit.
comp.
No, you might get away with that in that rock comp that you see the talk so highly
I
of.
wanted to do
only
the damn
complaint-
duet comp that you told me about, but nobody wanted to be with me. So screw you people.
I would love to, buddy, but I ain't got
You had a
time.
standing invite with Nancy, and she agreed. So why didn't you just revisit that?
You blew it.
Because I didn't think she would want to. She was going to do that song with me anyways, and I ain't heard out of her.
Blew it. I have one complaint for you, Ferris, about Perfectly Puzzled.
Well, it's not perfect.
No, nothing's ever perfect.
I was puzzled.
The 7 p.m. cutoff time on Friday night. That's bullshit. Just
That
saying.
would make it. That's 10 o'clock Eastern, so it's still the same time. It's been the same time every week.
I know it's not late enough.
I mean,
It's not late enough.
I can't help you live on the West Coast, man.
You could have at least made it like 3 a.m.
And I think
Saturday.
you're the only one. Maybe one other person on the. Well, let's see.
I think there's one more out here in California.
Here's what I don't get. It should be, no matter where the hell you are, that time limit. And then there should be an actual time they actually start to do everything.
Yeah, like if you're in Central Time, you've got till midnight on Friday. If you're in Easter Time, you've got midnight on Friday. If you're Pacific Time, you've got midnight on Friday.
Yeah.
And it wouldn't be that hard to track. You know what time zone each competitor's in.
We gave y'all the standby list. What else do you want? Good Lord.
I want an extension so I can get my song done. Damn it.
But
speaking of which, y'all got me for 5 more minutes because I got a song to submit.
No, we don't. You ain't going nowhere, punk son bitch. Well, I did have Linda's cousin drove through my front yard the other week.
You told me about that.
Did I tell you about that?
Yeah, we were talking about that.
Drove across the neighbor's front yard, right through mine, and then across the other neighbor. Oh, jackass.
That's just crazy, dude. What an a-hole.
Was that from your Facebook post?
He's an a-hat.
Because of it?
Which Facebook post?
Pick one, dude.
It was one you went on a rant about right after something.
The one where I was like, what you've been taught, you were told, what you know you were told, the ways you know to prove yourself.
Him, or was that about your neighbor?
No, that was about a damn whole nother Facebook thing I was commenting on.
Oh.
From the Flat Earthers group.
You have so many.
Did you join that group, dude?
I joined 2 different ones.
Dude, buddy, that Flat Earth group on Facebook is cracking me up.
Probably why the other Facebook group hasn't accepted you. They looked at your group following.
What drives me nuts about them groups is it's supposed to be like, let's talk about it and debate it. No. They go in there and they say, I'm right and you're wrong. If you don't believe me, there's something fucking wrong with you. Like, what is that?
They get cutthroat in there.
Oh my God.
I joined it just to see what these debates would look like, and I had this thought in my mind of how I was right. It's a bloodbath.
The 90-something% of it is not debating. It's them saying I'm right, they're saying they're right.
Yep.
You don't
I'm
believe
right.
me,
Here's definitive proof. Where's your definitive proof?
Well, here's mine. Where's yours? That's all you keep hearing.
The funny thing about it, though, is if you really think about it, if you really, really, really think about it and you come at it with an open mind and you're unbiased and you basically forget everything that you've ever been taught, both sides
have their points.
Actually have some points that make sense. I watched this video on Flat Earth, which I don't believe in Flat Earth, right? I believe that we're on a giant ball floating through space, just like everybody else has ever been taught.
I'm open to either or.
But I watched this video on it, and they took a ball, like paper, right? And it was done up to look like the globe. And then they opened it up and they flattened it out. And they say, now, why is this not possible? Because if we fold it back up, the ice wall, as they call it, right, forms Antarctica. And I was just like, whoa, that's really cool.
I think Nick just admitted to being bi-terrestrial.
Bi-terrestrial? What?
Yeah. He said he's open to either one.
Wow, Ferris. Wow, Ferris.
Okay.
All I know is one dude was very closed off, and I went in there very vaguely. I wasn't pointing at either side, and I just said, "Here's a problem with all you people. You're not open-minded."
That's where you messed up right there. You
I
said,
didn't.
Here's the problem with you all.
That's not what I actually said. If you read it, what I wrote my page is what I said.
Your approach needs some work there,
I
Nicholas.
said,
Oh.
here's the thing.
Yeah, he's got no in between.
Everything
He's
you
hot or
know,
cold.
you know it because you were told it. You didn't figure it out for yourself. You were told it.
This is true.
All the stuff you have that you can say, well, I can use this to prove it. You didn't figure that out. Somebody told you, here, use this and it'll prove that.
Probably.
But you're going with what somebody else is telling you.
My standpoint, I always go to, and again, I'm not a flat earth believer, but is it a possibility? In my mind, I say yes because of one thing, and here it is. I've never been to space to see it personally for myself.
Apparently nobody has.
Who knows?
Ferris?
I'm just saying. I mean,
dude, that's a rabbit hole in and of itself.
What I got at it was just saying, you're the stuff you've been told, and you were told how to prove it. So obviously, it's going to prove it.
Yeah.
I said, and then you can come down to books, like just for instance, the Bible. You guys people want to say, well, man wrote it. So yeah, well, the majority of everything you trust are all man-written books. What isn't? Name one book that ain't man-written.
All things we trust
are man-written. So I'm like,
it's been taught. Or
you got to read what I posted. It's like it's point blank. It's got to do with open-mindedness and all that. Believe what you want to believe. You can't be saying I'm right, and if you don't believe me, I can't stand you, and you're messed up in the head.
There's very few things in this world that we actually learn, quote unquote, the hard way, right? And we learn for ourselves. And the majority of those things occur when we're kids and we don't listen to our parents.
Right.
Just saying. Just saying. Think about it. Like, you had something going on with the motor of your truck, and it's an issue that you've never experienced before. What's the first thing the majority of people on the planet do? Go to YouTube.
Yep.
Let me go have somebody show me how to fix this.
Put a little gas in it.
Nobody goes to the owner's manual and reads it anymore because that's what YouTube's for. But even if you did go to the owner's manual, what are you reading? Word written by exactly what Nick just said. Man, have you gone through yourself?
Those are proven remedies to a problem.
Yeah, but the point I'm trying to make is how many people actually go through on their own and they tear that motor apart to find the source of the problem. They fix it and they put it all back together without ever once going to an additional source, whether it be YouTube, the like a Chilton manual or whatever they're trying to use, or a friend, family member, so on and so forth. I'm saying 100% by themselves with their own brain.
But
nobody does that anymore.
Even with that free thinking mechanic, they still had to learn some basics to get to that through that problem solving process to get to that result.
And those basics they learned from
somebody else. Right. So the genesis of knowledge is always handed down from our predecessors, whether it's parents, grandparents, teachers, professors, politicians, whatever. Everything is taught to us.
Which is why it's comical to me that the human race as a whole, at least here in the United States, I should say the United States as a whole, is so divided when it comes to information because of what you just said. It's all been passed down through generations.
Yep.
you know, the
Believe
big
your
thing.
senses. That's what I say. Just believe your senses.
Well, the thing about it is, you know, everybody's always been the lack of information makes you an idiot, right? That's how it was pre-internet, basically. Go read a book, go to the library,
Ignorance
go da da
isn't
da 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 da.
it's
Now,
not idiocracy to be ignorant.
yeah,
That's
The
two
problem
different
is
things.
they say go read a book, but then depending on which book you read, then they'll say, well, no, not that one.
well, it's not just that though. The point I was trying to get at was now we're in an age of information overload with the advent of the internet, right? And where the internet has come since it first got created not that long ago, right? I was born before the internet. All three of us here were born before the internet, right?
Yeah.
And where it's come now, there's so much information out there, and everybody and their mother is going, well, that's misinformation from one side, and then from the other side, well, no, what you're spitting is misinformation. Now it's almost like too much information makes you a freaking moron because
Yeah.
nobody ever goes to the source anymore. Hey, yo, welcome. What's going on, y'all?
I'm Nick,
And I'm Brandon.
and we have just kicked off season 4 of our podcast, Coast to Coast.
That's right. And this season, we'd like to invite those of you that are on Smule, the online karaoke app, to join us for a little fun, some good old wholesome banter, and a whole lot of music and conversation.
Throughout the season, as a Smule guest, you will also be entered to win recognition in several podcast and Smule-related categories.
Hell yeah. Some of these categories are going to be most viewed episode, funniest guest, and best vocal cover overall, just to name a few.
That's right. All you got to do is click the link below, fill out the form, hit submit, and someone will reach out to schedule a date that's best for you.
And we can't wait to have you on the show. So come on now, click that link below, fill out the form, hit submit, and let's get vocal. Dude, this is going to be fun.
The outlying land outside of the proposed globe, right around Antarctica, the wall.
Mm-hmm.
And me and Nick and Mary had a long like show and tell conversation about this one night that you weren't available. It might have been you might have been on, but you got off or whatever. We got into this rabbit hole, and I showed them on this map. There's continents and land masses that the names of these things like Aragon.
I've seen that. Yeah, I've
and
seen that.
These are names out of fictional fantasy books. So the question is, did these names come from explorers that actually breached the wall and came back and used the names and later used in books?
Mhm.
Or are they made up by somebody that has this theory about it being flat and used names that they just had lodged in their brain because of books they've read? And these books have been
Mhm.
around for hundreds of years. It's not like new stuff. I used Aragon as an example, but if you look at the map, which I don't have
Mhm.
pulled up, you'll recognize these names from fantasy novels that you've read or movies.
Yeah, I watched a TikTok video on that, and the map that the dude was showing was from like 18 something.
Yeah.
Or maybe it was the late 1700s, early 1800s. I can't remember exactly. But one of the land masses, I think they called it Terra Nova or something like that. Dude, that's a TV show on Netflix. Or at least it was. I don't know if it still is. And I'm not sure if it was actually Netflix, but I remember there being a TV show called Terra Nova. And they were on a alien planet somewhere doing whatever they were doing. So it's funny that you bring that up. You know, was it fantasy or is it made up? Or are the TV shows that are using these made up lands, are they referencing this quote unquote map?
That's what I think.
Is it
They're
in plain
referencing
sight
the
for
map.
us? Are they
The
trying to
map was
tell us
older.
Well, if you think about it, Ferris, I think that the entertainment industry is always trying to tell us something. How many times has a show done something and it came true?
The
Simpsons. Look at
Simpsons.
The Simpsons.
Dun, 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 dun,
One
dun,
episode
dun.
after
Y'all knew
another.
where I was going with it. That's why I love this group. I love this podcast.
Tell you what,
My team's awesome.
Woo!
Won't you be? Won't you be?
There's a new bourbon I wanted. Well, the bourbon,
Now, if the Simpsons,
and I
if the
wanted to try it.
Simpsons do a show where they
And
breach
my
the
buddy
ice wall,
said it was harsh, and it's fucking harsh.
Sweet.
I love that. What
You
just
and your
happened?
harsh,
Awesome.
you and your
Huh?
harsh, you suck.
I had to get it because it's called Bullet Bourbon.
Bullet bourbon. Well, Nick went with bullets,
Yep.
Wah,
but yeah,
wah, wah.
if the Simpsons ever do a show about breaching the ice wall, then we'll know definitively 100% factual.
You said if they do it.
Have they done it?
I don't think so.
I'm not sure.
I think that the flat earthers would have that would have been all over TikTok now. As proof. As a spoof.
As proof, right?
Look, the Simpsons preluded to it, so it has to
I
be
am
true.
not an in the box guy. People that are like stuck in a box drives me nuts. I don't like being in the box.
Don't you do like construction work too? Like remodeling? Therefore you're always in a box?
No, actually, I'm out of the box. When people come to me and say, no, it's this kind of house, it has to be done this way, I'm like, no, get the fuck out of the box. You can do whatever the hell you want. Be open-minded. You'd be surprised what you can do. Designers can't stand it. Dude, I cannot stomach a designer. Can't stomach them.
I've been on
You don't do
vacation
work
all
for
week.
designers?
I do work for people that want to use designers, and it drives me bananas.
Why?
What's wrong with designing?
Yeah.
Because they take it further than that. Every designer I've dealt with, they're very like, I'm the shit type of people. I know what you're doing. If you try to change anything, they feel like I'm a contractor, so I'm taking what you're putting on paper and I got to make it happen. And I can say, well,
life.
this ain't gonna work, but if we do this, and they're in their head, it's like, I'm designing it. You do what I want. This one girl I'm doing with now is way younger than me. I've been in construction way longer, and she's telling me how construction works. I'm like, are you crazy?
Well, she knows everything, don't you know?
I had a designer once say that you can't lay those tiles diagonally. There's these big slate tiles for a guy.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, how do you want to lay these? Well, the designer told me they can't go diagonal. I said, bullshit. Do you want them diagonal? Well, that's what I'd like. Well, here you go. And then the designer was like, oh my God, that's beautiful. Oh my.
Go figure. You can't build a structure that way. Watch me.
I'm telling you, y'all.
I'm an out of the box guy.
Needs a reality show. Needs a camera crew to follow him around.
I'd watch that show.
I
would
do.
too.
I would watch that
Did
show.
you say I agree? Is that what you said? Oh yeah, I agree.
Dude, just give Linda your cell phone and have her just take video
You ought to, man.
everywhere you go and
Did I tell
start
you about
uploading it to YouTube.
the 78 Chevy pickup I had down south once? It had a straight six in it, crappy old straight six engine. And I was like, everybody's like, no, you want that. It's got the power and the gas. I was like, bullshit. It's an old engine that's chugging gas. I have a 350 Oldsmobile engine sitting over there. I want to put it in this damn 78 Chevy pickup. That's too hard. You got to weld and do this, all the talk about all this stuff. You got to fabricate to make it work. I'm that guy that people actually caught on to and start using it against me. So when you tell me I can't do something, watch the fuck out. And sure enough, I dropped that damn engine in that truck and I bolted engine mounts and the thing sat right in there like it was factory.
That's
and a buddy of mine that didn't believe it came and I opened the hood and he looked at it and he looked at me and said, I'm looking at it and I still don't fucking believe it. You like broke every damn Chevy rule in the Bible of Chevys. I won't believe it until it runs. And I got in, took him for a ride. He's like, I still can't fucking believe it.
That's awesome.
I used a 350 Oldsmobile engine with a Pontiac fucking 350 transmission, a bell housing. Dude, I had all these different fucking parts.
So you just Frankensteined it together?
Frankenstein the show, but it all went bloop.
That's amazing. I don't know how people do that, dude. I don't have the patience to try to do shit like that.
My brain goes into, I want to figure it out. I'm a troubleshooter. And
I'm too lazy.
Linda's like, she'll see me sometimes when I'm like, if it's electrical and I'm trying to figure it, and I'll step back and I'll be looking at it. And I remember one time telling me, I can see it, just like those cartoons. I could like see a bubble over your head and all the gears moving and all this. I love it.
That's awesome.
I don't ever see that on the shows here.
Me neither.
Mm-mm.
Huh?
Usually,
now.
usually Nick
right now.
starts.
Right now, it's just 3 dots.
Usually Nick starts talking, and the bubble that I see over his head is just the from Charlie Brown.
Wah, 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 wah. Oh
And
my
he
God.
drinks another one.
That hard bourbon, he says.
Bullet bourbon. I bought it because I like the bottle and I like that it says bullet bourbon.
Yeah.
Looks like
The
old.
dude was right. It's a harsh one.
It's like an old medicine bottle.
Really
Do you mix it
fast.
with the water from the water bottle fountain thing you got sitting next to you?
No, I'm drinking it neat.
Oh, I thought that was bourbon in that cooler.
Yeah,
This
that'd be
sucker's here for the
cool.
long haul.
Next thing you know, Nick's gonna get himself a beerator or whatever it's called. When
I
you
can't do beer anymore,
Brandon,
man.
he don't need band-aids, Brandon. He just needs beans, bullets, and bourbon.
Yep.
Hey.
Nope. He don't even need the beans if he drinks enough bourbon.
Oh my God, with you guys.
To this day, I've never drunk bourbon.
Really? Not even
Really?
a taste?
Yeah.
Wow.
I mean, I've had whiskey, which is similar, but it's not the same thing.
It was
Right?
Bourbon is whiskey, but there's a difference.
Yeah.
Right?
yeah.
What do you mean, eh?
Nah.
Nah.
I got no I have no room to talk in any conversation revolving around alcohol anymore because it's been so long since I drank and so long since I cared about it that I just don't care.
Same. I haven't drinking forever until the bourbon came to me this winter.
No.
Well then fine. Me and Nick will just have an alcoholic conversation. How you like them White Claws there, Nick?
Sweet. You guys enjoy. I'm going to go record me a call song. Hey, good show, everybody. Like, subscribe, comment, share. I got to go work on a submission. Wish me luck.
Nerd.